Okay, hope everybody's keeping well, keeping safe. We're going to be starting a new series here, as you can see, on Dollaghan flies. And Dollaghan are basically big Lough Neagh brown trout, and a few people have asked me about some of the patterns that I use for them. So I don't normally do this, but yes, it's a secret glimpse into some of the patterns that I would use. So that's probably enough of those there. But yeah, essentially Lough Neagh Dollaghan are big brown trout, and they run the feeder rivers of Lough Neagh. And you can see here they get fairly sizable. That was about 11 pounds, that one there, but they go much bigger than that. As you can see there, some of them are quite silver. They'd be quite similar to sea trout. Essentially they are brown trout, and Lough Neagh, big, I think it's the biggest inland waterway in the UK, and so I suppose that's like a sea as such. And then the Dollaghan run the rivers to spawn, and as I say, well, you can see there, we do release quite a lot of them. They're not actually great eating fish, but a lot of people do catch and release now, which is great, and obviously that makes them get bigger and bigger. They are fairly toothy critters, as you can see here. That was after a good night's fishing, and yeah, they're fairly toothy in more than one way. That was actually that big fish that I had released, or tried to release, and I took exception to my thumb. But yeah, great fish. And quite often as anglers, I suppose we see them above the water, but at the end of the season I also love watching them spawning, and every year I get a license to film them. So I'll show you a wee clip, and you can have a see what happens for October time, this November time. Really is fantastic to watch, and a big fella there, it's about 11-12 pounds, big cock Dollaghan. These couple of females here are big cutting reds. That's where they dig the nest. You can see the smaller fish here, that's actually a male, so that's a cock Dollaghan, and it shimmers to stimulate the head fish to spawn. Fish here. That's quite interesting. I don't know what he actually did, but he went up to almost like a gulp of air. You can see the bubbles coming out, which is quite unusual. I don't know what exactly he was doing, but he's just beside that hen fish on the right. Cockfish, he's just saddling up beside the female hen fish. You can see the white on them, that's actually a fungus, it's a natural fungus. And as long as it doesn't cover the whole body, then they will recover from it. Big cock Dollaghan, he's got a bit of competition with this other one. great. It just gives you a totally different insight into what goes on, as I say, below the surface. And as I say, yeah, I do have a license, so it's obviously illegal to disturb spawning fish. But yeah, what we're going to be tying them is some of the patterns that I would use to fish for Dollaghan. And again, did another article back in, where was that? 2010, July 2010, and that was called A River on the Ropes. And there was a very bad pollution incident on the 6 Mile River, which is one of the rivers that I fish for Dollaghan. But as part of that article, I did a couple of patterns that I would use here, or over here for them. So those are, we're going to start with some of those. You can see there. So there's the 6 Mile Dabbler, which is the top fly, and then the second one is an Executioner. It's an Executioner we'll tie today. Executioner obviously it's a salmon pattern, but I've always found Dollaghan like silvery sort of type patterns, and it would be probably my #1 fly for Dollaghan. So it's a great pattern, and obviously takes salmon. I've actually caught quite a few salmon at night fishing for Dollaghan on that fly. But a fairly standard hairwing pattern. So you've got an oval tinsel tag, the tail is golden pheasant, the body is red, it's got a red butt, and then silver mylar tinsel. The wing is fox, and I use fox squirrel, and then it's got a beard hackle and a red head. So essentially that's the fly. Here's the one that I tied earlier, and you can see just a nice pattern. And probably one of the things you'll notice is, yeah, I like to tie them fairly sparse. And if you actually look at quite a lot of the other patterns that other people would use for Dollaghan, they follow this similar sort of template as such. So they're quite sparse, quite slimly dressed. And a lot of them actually, and I pretty like it myself, you want to see as much of that body as possible. So rather than having a full wound black hackle, I use a beard hackle, and a lot of other guys, people like Derek Bell, he's got a lot of really nice patterns, Dollaghan patterns, and again it follows this type of template. And I suppose it's really an imitation of a sort of a bait fish fry. You want a sort of slimlined sort of pattern. So that's essentially the fly. I will get started. So again, whenever I'm tying, particularly the Executioner, but I always like to use a silver hook. This is a mustad double. I don't normally use doubles for Dollaghan. But yeah, I think the silver just adds an extra little bit of glint. And as I say, Dollaghan tend to like quite flashy sort of patterns, and that sort of silvery glinting. So I think just using a silver hook just adds to that. So the thread I'm just going to use is a UTC, just a fairly, that's in 70 diameter. So what I'm going to do is just start behind the head and work our way down, just create a base of thread to the hook points, and work our way back up again. And then the tag on this fly is oval, silver oval tinsel, so just using a garland, but any silver oval will do. And because this is a body, a silver flat tinsel body, you want to just be conscious not to create any lumps or bumps. So just starting that tinsel towards the head, underneath the fly, working our way down towards the tail of the fly. Just nice twists and turns until you get down to the roughly in line with the barb, and then work your way up to roughly where the hook points are, and that's your point where you're going to stop the tag. So just nice touch and turns for the tag. And I suppose when I've used in Dollaghan, in terms of the tactic, it's slow and deep. So I would use fairly, I suppose, biggish flies, relatively biggish flies, and you want to get those flies fishing, as I say, slow and deep. So using biggish flies, and quite often it would be intermediate lines. Just bring that right up to the top. Just use your thumb just to make sure that's nice and neat. As I say, not that the fish are going to notice that. And then come down to the tag again. And the tail of the fly is golden pheasant, but before I tag in the golden pheasant, I normally put in a little bit of flash. And this is UV. Hopefully you can maybe, camera's picking that up. It just gives that a little bit of extra attraction to the fly. I'm known for my bling, and I do like just a little bit, but not overly much. So just using, hopefully you can see that there, just lift and lock in, and a couple of wraps, and then just fold it back on itself, and then just come down. And I like to tie that on a slightly different length than the first, so whenever it gets wet it doesn't congeal together, it still stays separate. So the tail is a golden pheasant, and obviously you've got golden pheasant, this is the tippets, but it's the crest feathers here that you want to use. You can actually see I've used quite a, probably need to get a new one. These very long ones, generally you wouldn't use. The classic fly tyers would use those, that's the sort of ones they would use. But generally I would sort of use these sort of medium to small sized feathers, obviously just depending on the size of the fly that you're tying. So just get your golden pheasant and just tie that in. And you just gauge the size of it. That's pretty much okay. And then we'll just go up, as I say, just up the belly to make sure we don't have any lumps and bumps. So that's our body, or the tail completed. And then the rear of the fly, as I say, has a butt, which is what makes it a bit different from, say, a silver stoat. And what we're going to use is red butt. So I like to use, you could just use normal red floss, but I like to use a Glow Bright, that's a number 4. So just think it adds a little bit more to the, just a wee bit more of an attraction. So again, lift and lock underneath, pull that thread, and then essentially I'm just going to create a nice butt section. And again, people have different things they do to attract. I suppose it's very like sea trout. As I say, we fish for them quite similar to sea trout. A lot of it's done at night, slow and deep. And like with sea trout, a lot of people would use different materials just to give that little bit of added attraction. So I think this floss here just gives that a little bit of extra attraction. So that's it tied in. Work our way up to the top. Just snip that off. So, and then what I also like to do is, just to make the felt a little bit more durable, put a wee bit of UV varnish, or UV resin onto it. So just get a little bit of that. It just helps to make it a little bit more durable. And then also quite often do is I like to put a little bit of UV onto the tag. And we'll seal all that in. As I said, it just makes the fly that little bit more durable. So just with the UV torch, just cue that, and you can see hopefully with the light there, using the glow bright floss just gives an added attraction. So that's that. So next then we're going to move on to the main body, and it's going to be a silver tinsel body and with a silver rib. So whenever I'm tying silver bodied flies, and again thinking durability, I would normally use a wire rather than a rib. So that's just a small silver wire. So again, same thing, just go underneath the fly. And work our way down to where that tag was. And then we're going to work our way back up towards the head. And then get some of our tinsel. So just any minor tinsel is fine, silver tinsel. This is actually a dual one. So we'll get a little bit of that. And tie that in. This is dual, you just need to make sure you tie it in the right way. And again, think durability. I use a little bit of varnish underneath the tinsel, and that just adds again to a little bit of just make it a more durable fly. And a nice touch and turns, working our way up to the rear of the body. Snip that off. And then with our wire, what we like to do is turn just at that junction, and then just nice wraps down the body of the fly. And then because just with the wire, just use your thumbnail and twist that, and that'll just break off. So that's essentially the body of the fly completed. And then what I normally do next is the beard hackle. So for that, I just turn that around, and as I say, just make sure that's a nice level base to be tying onto. I want to use you could use different materials. You could use a wee bit of Arctic fox. What I like to do is just black, natural black cock fibres. And what I'll do is, I know we would take these bigger fibres, just select one of these bigger feathers from the tip, and just break off one of those. It just gives you the feather like this. You can see where I've used one from the last time. And essentially all I normally do is just gather up some of these fibres, so just break them off all one go. You can roll them just to make sure they go the same direction. And you can see here, I just want these to be coming just between the hook points. So just set them on, pinch and lip. And you just sort of splay them out a little bit. But yeah, you want them going in between the hook points. And get a nice pair of sharp scissors. Just cut those. So that is our rear tackle. And then next couple of things is we use a bit of flash. So for this I like to use, again, it's a very durable material. This is crystal flash, silver crystal flash. And a wee tip with crystal flash is sometimes it can be a little bit, you sort of see it's a little bit crinkly or bent. If you just put a little bit of tension onto it, it'll actually just straighten it for you. Just to make it sit a little bit nicer. So we get that crystal flash, and what I do is double it, and then lift and lock underneath the fly. Again, different lengths. That's a shorter length, and then just bring that back upon itself, and that locks it in. And it's not going to go anywhere. And then just in terms of the length, just the same length as the tail. So that's the fly starting to come together. And then the final thing really is just the wing. And as I mentioned, I like to use fox squirrel. You get normal squirrel and then fox squirrel, which is just a little bit it's a little bit straighter and sometimes a wee bit finer, so just a nicer material to work with. That's the vineyard one. So just get your fox squirrel. You can see I go through quite a bit of it when I'm tying. You can see that one's pretty much had it. So this is just a new one here. So what we want to do is just get a nice bunch of this. And as I say, you don't want to get too much of it. I like to have it fairly sparse. Because as I say, I think it's important that you do see as much of the body as you can. So just it's enough to give the fly a profile and a silhouette, but you don't want to sort of overdo it. Squirrel can be quite a slippery material, so make sure you do wax the thread well, and then just place it on the top. And I just like it just beyond the tail. I don't like an overly long tail or wing, because I find it the fish can nip at it. And just to make sure that the fly doesn't go anywhere, I would normally also do a wrap around the front. And then just with a nice sharp pair of scissors, we just want to cut that squirrel nice and neat. Get a wee bit more of your wax. And essentially that's the fly done. We're just building up a nice neat head. It's a great pattern. You can see I don't put jungle cock on it. If you fish these flies right, as I say with Dollaghan, you generally fish slow and deep. So if you're fishing properly, what will happen is you should really be touching the bottom fairly regularly. And if you don't, then you're not generally fishing deep enough. But often, obviously, when you touch the bottom, you have much more risk of the fly catching, snagging up. So they're expendable flies, what I would call them. So I don't really want to put jungle cock. It's more important getting the profile right, rather than putting jungle cock I don't think it particularly adds. The salmon pattern certainly, but for Dollaghan, say if you want to try to cast your Dollaghan underneath trees and things like that, you are going to lose flies, either snagging or catching in branches. So for that reason, I don't put jungle cock in. So, but that's essentially the fly finished. So we'll just whip finish to finish it off, and that's our executioner. As I say, great pattern. Obviously for salmon, it was a salmon pattern, but the Dollaghan really do like the executioner as well. So we'll just put a wee bit of varnish on just to finish it. I suppose over the years this has been my #1 fly for Dollaghan, and it's like anything, it's all about confidence. So if you have confidence in a fly and a pattern, you'll generally fish harder and longer and be successful with it. So it's a self-fulfilling sort of prophecy. So I do normally a few coats, again just thinking durability with the fly, but that's our executioner. Fairly straightforward, fairly simple to tie, but a really effective pattern, particularly for Dollaghan, and certainly a pattern I wouldn't be without. And you can see it's fairly sparse, because you do want to see that the body shining through. So yeah, that's our executioner. Hopefully you've enjoyed that. We'll see what other pattern we'll tie next. But say this is the first in the series. There'll be at least 3, probably 4 other patterns that we'll tie. So hopefully if you enjoyed that, subscribe to see some more. We'll get the next one out hopefully fairly soon. And if you have any questions, fire them in the comments below, and I'm more than happy to answer them. Otherwise, as always, stay safe, and we look forward to seeing you again.